Welcome in, everyone. I hope you guys are doing great wherever you're watching from today. We have some breaking news out of Europe with NATO, Ukraine, Russia. Fighter jets have been scrambled. There's been a deadly attack, and NATO scrambled fighters in response to that attack carried out by the Russians. It is the latest example that this situation in Russia is not even getting close to being over. If anything, we are only going to further ramp up the escalation, the violence. It will continue. The wars will continue. Before we get into exactly what happened, I'm going to break it all down for you. I'm going to give you my opinion, and I think I've been pretty clear recently how I feel about this situation. And with every passing day, we get something new, and it just seems to get worse and worse and worse. There is no end in sight. So I'm going to break it down as far as I see it. Before we do, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free, costs you guys nothing at all, and is a huge, huge, huge boost to the channel. So please make sure to like and subscribe. Comment with your thoughts below. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of the war between Russia and Ukraine? What do you think of NATO's response? What do you think of the United States response? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that bell, all notifications turned on. You won't miss a single thing. And then right here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. My DMs are open. If you have any tips or anything, please feel free to reach out. I'm very responsive. Now let's get into it. We have truly entered a new phase of the war in Ukraine with Ukraine and Russia. It looked for a while that a peace deal would be the top priority. That's why you saw President Trump meet with Vladimir Putin in Alaska. That's why you saw President Trump meet with European and NATO leaders and Zelensky at the White House. The plan was, hey, let's find a way to stop the killing, stop the dying. Let's find a peaceful resolution here. Then there was a pivot. Eventually, President Trump made the decision that Putin has no interest in any kind of peace deal and will just drag this out for as long as it takes. What did they then start doing? What did the Russians then start doing? They flew drones into Poland. They flew drones into Romania. They flew 3 MiGs into Estonia. So they're repeatedly breaching NATO airspace. President Donald Trump, of course, said he wanted to see those Russian MiGs blown out of the sky. He said that if any plane enters NATO airspace, it should be shot down. That, of course, who knows what would happen then? You're on the escalation ladder. How do you get off? Now we're shooting jets down. And quite frankly, it's like standing up to a bully to some degree. It's a good comparison in the sense you will never know when a bully will back down if you don't attempt to stop him. So maybe we shoot down some Russian jets. It changes everything. Maybe it just escalates the situation significantly worse. What we do know is NATO, let me throw this up on the screen for you. NATO, this is, I'm filming this October 5th. This is October 5th, so this information is up to date as of that date. This is the big update right here is that NATO yet again scrambled fighter jets and air defense networks after a deadly attack in Ukraine. So it says here, Poland scrambles jets again as Russian airstrikes kill 5 in Ukraine. The Russian attack early Sunday killed at least 4 people in Lviv region near the Polish border. So there's a little bit of conflicting information here. Is it 4 dead? Is it 5 dead? Hard to say, but we know multiple people are dead for sure. It says Poland said it rapidly mobilized military aircraft early Sunday to secure its airspace after Russia launched airstrikes on Ukraine's Lviv region near the Polish border. Polish and allied aircraft are extensively operating in our airspace, while ground-based air defenses and radar reconnaissance systems have reached the highest state of readiness, said the operational command of the Polish Armed Forces. Ukrainian officials said the Russian strikes killed and at least 4 people in the Lviv region and 1 person in southern eastern city of Zaporizhia. I'm probably butchering that. Let me know in the comments below. So 5 dead total. There are 5 dead total. The mayor of Lviv said public transport routes were not operating due to a massive enemy attack, which had also caused a partial electricity outage in the region. Russia targeted residential areas with drones and aerial bombs across all affected areas. Residential buildings and critical infrastructure were damaged. Ukraine's Prime Minister Yulia Severdenko said on X, It was just the latest instance of Poland scrambling fighter jets to protect its airspace amid Moscow's attacks on Ukraine. In early September, Poland shot down Russian drones that forced the closure of the Warsaw airport as Russian President Vladimir Putin appeared to be testing NATO defense capabilities. Since then, eastern flank members of NATO have been on high alert. Denmark has closed its airspace after drone activity was detected around Skraz. I can't pronounce that, airbase. Sunday's Russian bombing on Ukraine came a day after Moscow launched a drone attack on a railway station in northeastern Ukraine that struck a passenger train, leaving one person dead and dozens injured. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky called it a savage Russian drone strike. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas pledged to keep up support for Kiev in its efforts to defend the country against Putin's invasion. He is stated as saying, Russia is masking its failed summer offensive with terror attacks on Ukrainian civilians and infrastructure. We keep support for Ukraine as long as needed, finalizing the next sanction package, insurancing, financing, providing weapons. Russia will not stop until forced to. So that is what we have there. The Russians launched a deadly drone attack, killed 5 people, or missile attack, drone, bombing. So we have a few more details here. This comes from Oznet Defender. It says in Australian, let me make sure this is on the screen for you. E-78 Wedgetail airborne early warning and control aircraft has just appeared over Poland, heading in the direction of the border with Ukraine, alongside an F-35A Lightning II, likely either Dutch or Norwegian, that appeared briefly, but has since gone dark, flying east over western Poland. Says the Wedgetail has now turned off its transponder over eastern Poland. So I will pull this off the screen. So those are the details we have. Russia launched a massive drone and missile strike on Ukraine, killing 5 people close to the Polish border. Poland responded by scrambling fighter jets, early warning aircraft, ground-based reconnaissance, SAM sites, I assume, are part of that, all got activated. And this is just the latest time the Russians have caused NATO to scramble aircraft, to cause NATO to lock down its airspace, to cause NATO forces to go airborne. And more than anything, this really does go to show this situation is likely going to get much worse before it gets better. That's just the reality of it. I know everyone was kind of hoping that there would be a peaceful resolution. Everyone was kind of hoping that there would be a way to figure this out. But you got to keep in mind, this also comes on the heels. I made a video on October 4th that Ukraine just landed a devastating blow on a Russian oil refinery or energy, whatever you want to call it, that caused huge amounts of damage. And this is happening as the United States, under President Donald Trump, has made the decision, we're going to share high-level intelligence with the Ukrainians to help them strike deep inside Russia. That includes giving Ukraine highly advanced weapons such as Tomahawk cruise missiles. For those of you who don't know what a Tomahawk is, I will get it up for you. This is what a Tomahawk cruise missile looks like. Let me throw this up on the screen. So these have a range of 1,500 miles, which puts every Russian base in the eastern part of Russia and deeper into Russia, Moscow, the Kremlin, their ports, all of those are within range of these cruise missiles. You can see a burst, one firing from a ship, 2 firing from a ship. Most of them are fired from ships, but you can launch them from, that one's coming from a submarine underwater. There's that one's coming from a ship. See, here's a ground-based version. So that's the type of weapons we're about to give them. And they've already hit Russian energy infrastructure, causing significant damage, with the goal of cutting off money to Putin's government, because they are an oil-based economy, right? Russia is dependent on oil to get its money, and they produce a ton of oil and they sell it all over the globe. Well, if they don't have oil refineries and their ability to sell that oil is diminished, damaged, whatever you want to say, well, that changes things on the ground. That changes the dynamics on the ground, if you will. You are going to see more strikes deep into Russia. You are going to see Russia respond with brutal and deadly strikes in Ukraine. You are going to see Russia continue to poke and prod at NATO. You are going to see Russia continue to fly drones into NATO airspace. And you are going to see NATO respond by closing down their airspace, scrambling fighter jets, preparing to engage, preparing to shoot down Russian planes. And at the end of the day, one side is going to hit a breaking point. And you're not going to see NATO planes fly into Russia. That's just not going to happen. So that would seem to indicate it's more likely Russia is going to fly their planes again into NATO and have them blown out of the sky. And at that point, we will be off to the races. But we are now down a path that is 100% unpredictable. Ukraine is about to be armed in a fashion it has never been armed before. It is going to be encouraged and authorized and assisted carrying out deadly strikes deep, deep inside Russia, which is a game changer for them. And Russia will continue to unleash violence on the Ukrainian people. It's a bad situation. It is horrific. It is heartbreaking. It is sad, but it is where we are. So I have no idea what comes next, but I'll keep you all updated. Please let me know in the comments. What do you think of this whole situation? How do you think this situation ends? Let me know in the comments below. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free. It costs you absolutely nothing at all. Huge, 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 huge boost to that channel. Hit the notification bell. All notifications turn on. Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. That's where you can find me online. My DMs are open. Please reach out with any tips or just say hello. I'll see you all next time.